Hi, and welcome back to Among Therapists, Practical Tips, a podcast by Psychotherapy Academy. I'm your host, Dr. Jessica Díaz. Today, we're diving into the 14th episode of our series, The Middle Path for Trauma Work, a dialectical behavioral training. In this video, we'll introduce two new exercises, Mindfulness Reflections and the Mindfulness Action Plan, designed to make mindfulness practice more relevant and effective for our clients. Our aim is to help clients understand the purpose of mindfulness in reducing symptoms and improving the quality of their lives. Our faculty member today is Dr. Kirby Reutter. Dr. Reutter is a bilingual clinical psychologist who contracts with the United States Department of Homeland Security to provide treatment services for asylum seekers. He is a TED speaker and the author of the Dialectical Behavior Therapy Skills Workbook for PTSD, Practical Exercises for Overcoming Trauma and Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. We're excited to announce that this extract is part of our new trauma training pathway, Proven ACT, DBT, and Prolonged Exposure Techniques. Embark on a journey to master trauma therapy through various evidence-based frameworks. This training program emphasizes practical knowledge, allowing you to transform these theories into actionable strategies for effective trauma treatment in complex scenarios. Enhance your trauma therapy skills now with our three-dimensional e-learning program and earn up to 30.25 CE credits. Without further ado, here's Dr. Kirby Reutter.
Greetings and welcome to the fifth video in this module. In the previous video, we learned how to become more mindful of the mind itself through the stream of consciousness exercise. In this video, we will learn two simple exercises, mindfulness reflections and the mindfulness action plan, which can help make mindfulness practice even more relevant to our clients. So let's get started. Let's start off talking about mindfulness reflections. As you recall, mindfulness is learning to pay attention in the present for a purpose without judging. Well, clients will not understand the purpose of mindfulness if they do not see how mindfulness practice directly relates to reducing their symptoms and improving the quality of their life. So the following reflective questions can help clients better understand the rationale for mindfulness practice, which in turn will make them more motivated to keep practicing. Here are the four reflections. Very simple. First one, what did you notice? Second one, how is this experience different from how you normally do this activity? Third, how does what you learned relate to your symptoms? And fourth, how does what you learned relate to your personal life goals? Those are four simple questions you can have clients ask themselves after they complete a mindfulness exercise to reflect on the experience. Let me give you an example of a real client that I had in which I used this intervention. This particular client was struggling with panic attacks. As I was brainstorming with this client different mindfulness activities that he could use to practice mindfulness, he decided that he would like to use riding his bicycle. That's something he did on a regular basis and something he enjoyed doing. So I said, perfect. Let's use riding your bicycle as a great way to learn and practice the skill of mindfulness. He made that his practice. And then the next week, he came into session and I asked him, how did it go with your mindfulness practice? First of all, I asked him, what did you notice when you rode your bike mindfully? He said, well, I noticed I was sweating. My heart started to beat faster. I was also breathing faster. I said, okay, those are great observations. And then I followed up with the second question. How is this experience different from how you normally do this activity? He said, usually I just ride my bike and I really don't notice any of these things. So once again, I complimented him. I said, great job with your mindfulness exercise. Great job noticing these things. Great job noticing the difference between how you normally ride your bike versus what you noticed when you were doing this mindfully. And then I followed up with this third question. How does what you learn relate to your symptoms? And this is when my client had a light bulb moment. Because remember, what did he notice when he was riding his bicycle? He noticed I was sweating. My heart started to beat faster. I was also breathing faster. Right? He noticed those were the exact same things that he notices when he's having a panic attack. Then I asked him, so did you have a panic attack? He said, of course not. I said, why not? He said, I was riding my bicycle. You're supposed to sweat. Your heart is supposed to beat faster. You're supposed to breathe faster. That's what happens to you when you exercise. And I said, oh, interesting. So you noticed all of the symptoms of a panic attack when you're riding your bicycle mindfully, but you didn't actually have a panic attack. So that's when he realized it is possible to have the symptoms of a panic attack without actually having a panic attack, right? So he learned from this simple mindfulness exercise that it's the interpretation of the symptoms that drive panic attacks and not the symptoms themselves. These are all things he learned simply as I was asking him to reflect on his experience. And then the fourth question, how does what you learned relate to your personal life goals? His panic attacks were getting in the way of dating relationships as well as some of his professional aspirations. So what he learned was it would be great if I could notice the symptoms of a panic attack in certain professional situations or when I'm dating someone, but without actually having the panic attack. These simple exercises in and of themselves did not take away his panic attacks, but it put him in a place in which we could now start to apply even more interventions. And it all started with these mindfulness reflections. There's another exercise I would like to introduce, and this is called the Mindfulness Action Plan, which abbreviates nicely as the MAP. The Mindfulness Action Plan is a tool to help clients stay grounded in a mindfulness exercise through self-talk by expanding on the themes of awareness, acceptance, and action. The MAP especially helps clients understand how mindfulness practice relates to their long-term goals and values. In other words, a life worth living. This helps clients stay present in the present, even when it is difficult to do so. This is how the MAP works. There's 6 prompts, and clients fill in the blanks to each of these prompts. I am here now, accepting, noticing, doing what I care about. And there's a lot of research behind those 6 prompts. In essence, this is what each of the prompts is about. So I am, you fill in that prompt by stating a relevant self-identity or role. In other words, letting go of unhelpful self-descriptions. Here now is a reminder to stay present in the present, not in the future, not in the past, not in la daydream land. Accepting my thoughts, emotions, and current circumstances. Noticing what my body is communicating to me. Noticing my senses, noticing my sensations. Doing. This is where the client identifies specific behaviors that they are committed to doing. And then finally, what I care about. This is where the client identifies specific values, goals, priorities, and aspirations, which will help them stay grounded in this activity. Let me give a personal example of how I apply the MAP, the Mindfulness Action Plan, to my own personal life. My favorite mindfulness exercise of all is playing with my children. But sometimes, in order to stay grounded in my mindfulness exercise, I need to follow my MAP. And this is how I complete my prompts. I am a father. Here now, spending time with my children, accepting that I have zillions of commitments, deadlines, projects, and emails waiting in the office, including making this recording for Psychotherapy Academy. Noticing the tension in my chest because of all these commitments, but playing soccer in the park with my kids. What I care about, because my family is more important than my job. So that's how I apply my own mindfulness action plan to stay grounded in the present, even when I'm being distracted by other commitments that I know I have waiting for me. Okay, so let's summarize a few of the key points that we covered in this video. First of all, as you recall, mindfulness is learning to pay attention in the present for a purpose without judging. Clients will not understand the purpose of mindfulness if they do not see how mindfulness practice directly relates to reducing their symptoms and improving the quality of their life. Point number 2. The following reflective questions can help clients better understand the rationale for mindfulness practice, which in turn will make them more motivated to keep practicing. So here are the questions. What did you notice when you did this mindfulness exercise? How is this mindfulness exercise different than how you normally do this activity? How does what you learned relate to your symptoms? And how does what you learned relate to your personal life goals? And then finally, the Mindfulness Action Plan, or MAP, is a tool to help clients stay grounded in a mindfulness exercise through self-talk by expanding on the themes of awareness, acceptance, and action. The MAP especially helps clients understand how mindfulness practice relates to their long-term goals and values. In other words, a life worth living. This helps clients stay present in the present, even when it is difficult to do so.
All right, so in this session, we explored 2 valuable tools to enhance mindfulness practice: mindfulness reflections and the mindfulness action plan. Mindfulness reflections offer clients a structured approach to understanding the relevance of mindfulness in their daily lives, encouraging them to notice, reflect, and relate their experiences to their symptoms and personal goals. Through the example of a client struggling with panic attacks, we witnessed how simple reflective questions can lead to profound insights and shifts in perception. Additionally, we introduced the Mindfulness Action Plan, a practical tool for staying grounded in the present moment by integrating awareness, acceptance, and action. By guiding clients to identify their self-identity, present moment awareness, acceptance of thoughts and emotions, sensory noticing, committed actions, and personal values, the Mindfulness Action Plan facilitates a deeper connection to mindfulness practice and long-term life goals. These exercises serve as a valuable resource for therapists seeking to enrich their mindfulness interventions and support clients on their journey towards a life worth living. All right, so knowing the forefront trauma therapy skills isn't just about expanding your expertise. Imagine the feeling of confidence and fulfillment as you help one patient with trauma issues after the other get back on their feet and finally feel like themselves again. Our new trauma training pathway, Proven ACT, DBT, and PE techniques will help you gain the confidence and skills to tackle even the most complex scenarios in the world of PTSD and trauma. With our 3-dimensional approach, you will get a comprehensive training in acceptance and commitment therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, prolonged exposure, plus a bonus on trauma-informed stabilization treatment to enhance your therapeutic skills and upgrade your clinical practice. Enroll now and earn up to 30.25 CE credits on completion. If you're a psychologist, counselor, social worker, physician, or nursing professional, these credits are accepted by your professional board. You can click the link in the show notes to learn more about accreditation and the training. You can also access exclusive content which isn't covered in this podcast. This is an on-demand training, and all modules are available in multiple formats. You can watch videos, listen to audio, and download PDF transcripts. If you enjoyed this podcast, please help us spread the word by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing news of it on your social media. We are so grateful for your support. Thank you for listening. This was Dr. Jessica Díaz. See you soon for the next episode. Bye-bye.